Hello, everyone, and welcome to Z Talk. I'm excited today to have my friend and colleague, Lenny Chesal. I was going to introduce him with a proper title, but he reminded me of something that he is the man that needs no introduction, right? All right.
Yes, I'm very
you know,
humble about that.
yeah, I might have the look of the most interesting man in the world, okay? But Lenny needs no introduction. I would need one. He doesn't. But Lenny, my friend, I'm glad you're on the show with me. I mean, I've known you for years, and it's an honor to I know you're very involved with the community down here, tech wise, and I don't know of anybody that doesn't know Lenny. So thank you for coming on board today and talking about Cybraics, which is a very interesting technology, especially the AI in that company name. So I'd love to hear what you can tell my audience, and they can be more familiar with Cybraics, and going forward, if they have a need in that area, they can reach out to us and we'll make it happen. So
Cool.
my friend, I turn it over to you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Henry, very much. I've been following you now, I guess some 20 plus episodes. You're doing a great job. I don't have a hat, and I should because my head is so shiny. I don't know what's going on under your hat, but whatever you're hiding, I'm sure it's still worth hiding. Oh, beautiful head of hair.
I can send you a Panama Jack hat if you like one.
Oh, I'm so jealous. You know, at my age, the only place the hair grows is in your ears and in your nose. It's terrible. It's embarrassing.
I get those too.
Anyway, thank you very much. I'll see if I can get from A to Z pretty quickly.
All right.
On Cybraics, and so it's really a pleasure and honor to join you today. I got into working with the folks at Cybraics. If you want to know the background, I've known the principals. If you combine the years, it's almost as many years as I've been around, but it's a combined 70 years. I went to high school with our CEO, Marvin Wheeler, and I worked at Southern Bell, so that dates me, with our co-chair, Jamie Dos Santos. And so anyone here in South Florida would recognize those names from obviously from Terramark.
Yep.
And we've got some other great folks from that Terramark team who we all know what a tremendous success that business was down here. And then Verizon bought them, and Equinix, and so on and so forth. But the work, actually the work that they were doing, not just them, but on that secretive floor that everybody always wondered what those big balls on the roof of Terramark were, and why could you not get off the elevator on the third floor, and why was there a guy with an M16 there? And you know, everyone had their theories about what was going on there, and well, come to find out, well, without really finding out, but the work that was being done there was some pretty cool military stuff, right? So, and so that work, some of the work that was done there, and I guess up in Washington D.C. as well, in their Culpeper facility, was a DARPA project. And that DARPA project, and folks know who DARPA, right? The internet and all those other cool things they invented. Yeah. That DARPA project was called Nexus 7, and that was a warfighting project. And there was a development of a team of DARPA data scientists who developed algorithms to measure the insurgency of the war in the Middle East. And the purpose of those analytics and algorithms were to pluralistically look at different feeds of information, different disparate data feeds, aerial sensors, ground sensors, financial records, and foot traffic, and aerial traffic, and social media feeds. And in so doing, they were able to correlate that information into a holistic picture of understanding if the insurgency was going to make progress, or if there was some impending progress based on the behavior of the community. So this was behavior-based, right? So in the world of cyber, we understand that behaviors can portend greater, problems. So if you fast forward, that project was then turned into the Net Defense program, another program that we were a part of. And basically we took three very, very large organizations, ingested some 7 petabytes of data, big data, and applied analytics in the cyber world in the same pluralistic view, but looking for outliers and anomalies in the same way they did in this warfighting project that was called Net Defense. It was also a big success. A couple of things that came out of that was, one in particular was some work for the State Board of Election in a state unnamed here today, just like my location where I'm broadcasting from is also an undisclosed location for anyone wondering where's Waldo or where's Lenny. And that State Board of Election presented us with a large data set that the FBI had poured over for a couple of weeks and a couple of dozen agents. We applied our analytics to it in a couple of days and a couple of Cybraics cyber threat hunters. And we found in that same data set the instances that the FBI had found with much longer and greater effort. But we also found incidents that they had not found. And the notoriety was we were the first commercial company to actually attribute the hack to the Russians. So we remember all that noise in 2016. So that has kept us in the middle of that work. We still are part of the alerting system statewide or nationwide for the state boards of election on findings that we have today. That's all on the government side, the work we do with the federal government, Department of Defense, and all that, and such. But on the commercial side, well, you put me on a box, and I'll just go, Henry. But on the commercial side, we take that same, if you will, military-grade cyber intelligence, and we apply it to the small and medium enterprise clients. And we've got some very notable clients here in South Florida. The event that you talked about is still one of my favorites because I got to stand on a stage amongst some pretty freaking awesome people.
You sure did.
Kim Ramito from the Miami Dolphins and
the Panthers,
David Enriquez from the Marlins.
Enriquez, you got the Heat.
Yep,
there too.
and John Spooner from the Panthers, and then Miami Heat as well. So Kim, we're working with Kim at the Dolphins. She's just awesome. Miami Heat, we've been protecting for quite a while. Unfortunately, we're protecting empty stadiums and arenas today, but the Dolphins have done some really cool stuff with their outside theater. There's a Grand Prix event coming up there, so that's kind of cool. And what we do, honestly, in very simple terms, is we just take existing tools. So you sell security tools, and all our buddies in the business down here sell security tools, and we're never one to say that they bought something that didn't work, because all of those tools work. It's when you ingest all of the logs in this, again, in a fashion where you're collecting the logs and then applying these analytics across the enterprise, that I'll give you a good analogy. If the Wuhan Health Ministry had identified patient 0, quarantined patient 0, we would not be facing a pandemic today, and we wouldn't have 9,000 new cases in Florida today, right? So in a very similar fashion, if we can identify patient 0, so I'll give you an example of that. If you cough, right, so that means you clicked on an email. That's the cough. Draw the analogy here.
Right.
No big deal if you cough. But then the email starts reaching back out to some bad URL, and now there's some beaconing going on or some malware. So that's a fever. And then there's the firewall starts showing some traffic, or your Active Directory is showing some weird stuff, or a server starting to misbehave. So that's the third thing. So now you got a fever and a cough, and now you're breathing hard and you can't breathe. Now you got a problem. But guess what? It's starting with a cough. That's patient 0, right? That's the first incident. So in the world of cyber, the first incident, if it is not captured and identified quickly, you can quickly have a pandemic within your network. And so we're just taking all the tools, all the logs, and providing, my favorite term in cyber today is situational awareness. So, when we meet a client, we ask the question, what keeps you awake at night? And it's a very powerful question. And 9 times out of 10, it's the same answer. It's, I don't know what I don't know. And if you could help me get my arms just around what's happening across my enterprise, you're going to really do me a solid. And if you can eliminate all the noise from all the tools that we're using, then once again, that's fantastic. If you can eliminate and reduce the false positives, that's fantastic. If you can do it for a cost that's less than a Rolls Royce, that's fantastic. So it's a great space to be in. I've been in the data center business. I worked at a phone company.
Yep.
We've all sold circuits, and we've sold, mine's cheaper than yours, buy it. And this is not about that. This is solving, this is my favorite part. We're solving business problems with technology. We're not replacing technology with technology. We're solving those business problems of not enough personnel. The personnel is not trained enough. The tools that we have don't talk to each other. The care and feeding of a traditional SIM, whether Splunk or QRadar or Marstar, and those, we eliminate all those issues, and we just ingest it, put it up in the cloud, deliver over web-based user interface, all these cases, and we've had some tremendous success. And I'm 3 years in, and I'm having a freaking blast, man. That's my story. Boom.
I know you are. I follow you and your posts and everything, so I keep tabs of Lenny. Is the Cybraics solution available in a SaaS model, or is it they have to purchase an application type of a model?
Good question. So it is purely SaaS, but so software as a service, it's the service. So it's not just, we don't just send you a disk and you download it and you're working, right? We're very interactive. So we help our clients. We look at what their use cases are going in, what problem are we solving, and we help build the user interface around the requirements. So it's role-based. So if the server person needs to look at these logs or these reports, that person can have their own special UI. We build dashboards around that. So it's very customized. And then we do monthly or quarterly business reviews, review cases. So we're not a SOC, right? But the logs are ingested in a streaming fashion 24/7, and the machine learning part of our application with a sprinkle of AI allows us to automatically create cases. And the cases are the fully curated remediation recommendation, what happened, when it happened, how it happened, why it happened, who did it happen to, has it happened anywhere else in the network, and it correlates all that information in a nice little package. We send you an email, click on the case, opens up the UI, go fix this, do it now, your pants are on fire, or there's a spark and your pants are gonna catch on fire, right? So we rate the severity of the case. And we call it a cyber to-do list. When you log in, it's going to tell you what's the most important thing. So it's pretty darn simple and very intuitive. Even a caveman can do it. Meaning,
you're almost there.
Yeah.
Are your clients mainly in South Florida, or are they around the country, around the world? Where's that Cybraics market look like?
Sure. So because I'm here, of course, we're crushing it in South Florida. Again, a lot of humility in that. Listen, you hang out in the market for 30 years, you're gonna meet a few people.
I know.
Plus I know Hugo, so that helps, right?
Yeah, Mr. Connection.
Hugo, shout out to Hugo, because he's the Cuban Lenny in Miami, right? And I'm the Jewish Hugo. Anyway, you got to shout out to Hugo. You can't do this without shouting out to Hugo. So we got some phenomenal clients here in South Florida. Just a really great customer base here. We're in Atlanta, so we've got good market in Atlanta and the Southeast. We did a bunch of work with oil and gas out in Houston, got some great clients in the Northeast, federal clients all over the country. So yeah, we have a big partner program. So we don't have to have feet on the street. We rely on our agents. Big market for us is MSPs and MSSPs. Got some awesome MSSPs and MSPs we work with across the country. Some big ones that everybody knows the name of. And essentially they use us in the same way that Microsoft selected us for their $10 billion response to the JEDI project, the 10-year, $10 billion moving the DoD to the cloud. Microsoft selected us to be their analytics platform. So we're vetted at some very high levels. And again, it's available to the IT shop with 3 to 8 people, and that's our sweet spot. If there's one person or 1.5 people in an organization, because there's a lot of half people out there, and people I said I was half-assed, so maybe that's what I was thinking. But anyway, for that 1 to 1.5 person security team, they freaking love us because one individual can do the work of hundreds of people by leveraging our technology.
Right. And the MSSPs, are they providing this Cybraics, which obviously is through their platform, but is it a line item where they recommend it on a case by case basis? Is that how they're?
Henry, you're getting really good at this asking question thing. We didn't even prep. So if you look at the MSSP, they're already looking at people's networks, right? But they're using traditional tools. So according to Gartner, we've really leapfrogged. We're disruptive technology, and because we are applying the analytics in this log aggregation, right? The SIM market. A traditional SIM is still putting out 50% false positives. Not to mention the care and feeding of a traditional SIM is incredibly expensive. So if the MSSP is already applying endpoint tools, they're managing firewalls potentially, right? And managing, all the other tools across the enterprise. If they're using our platform, and we even developed for one of our big national MSSPs, co-developed with them our Envision platform, which allows them to have a single portal with all of their customers. So their homepage is all the customers with a heat map. So now if the customer number one's red, pants on fire, click on that, opens up the Enlighten platform, and they go right to it. So again, there's no guesswork. We take the guesswork out of where the fires are burning, where are the hot spots. So we're powering, if you think of Intel inside a computer, we're the detection engine. So if a provider is providing what we call managed detection and response, MDR, they're managing it, they're responding it, we're remediating, and we're the detection. We're the big D in MDR.
Right. So you're coming in. Are you basically replacing some other products in that environment, because obviously you're doing better correlation and better detection? Are there some, without naming any brands, but I'm sure there's some being displaced with Cybraics?
There can be displacement. Obviously, as with any change, we are change averse, right? We're risk averse, just as a function of being a human being. Obviously, it's much easier if they're building the practice, right? Or if they put all these siloed tools in, but never were really aggregating. Now, if they put in a SIM in some of those environments, all they have to do is feed us the SIM logs and just do a heavy forwarder, and we can make a SIM better. We're the GAF of cybersecurity. We don't make things, we make them better, right?
Passive, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, I don't have anything else to add. I mean, I'm very intrigued. I'll talk to you offline about some MSSPs that I have in my mind that I want to bring to the table, not on this particular talk show, but I want to thank you so much again for coming on the show and talking about this great technology. I know, my viewers will find it very interesting. I'm sure that not many have heard of it. I'm sure a lot of us here in South Florida, because we know each other, it just kind of feeds off that. But we have clients at IT Savvy across the nation, so maybe it opens up some doors. So let's see how this goes. But for today, I wanted to thank you again, Lenny, for coming on the show, my friend. I have enjoyed our friendship and look forward to many, many more years. Hopefully we can find some ways here to work together with this great project that you're on.
Thank you, Henry. Again, keep up the good work, and anyone who gets to go on the show appreciates the exposure and the education of this, right? It's really great. So I admire you. I have a podcast that I've been working on. It started off with a tech twist. It's called The New Normal. So maybe
I did one a New Normal too.
Yeah.
I did a few of those actually.
It's kind of the new abnormal, really, because normal's overrated. But we've been talking about more social issues and some of the racial issues and Black Lives Matters issues, and so it's sort of went off into a little more of a social podcast. So I'm not a competitor. So Henry, thank you so much.
No, thank you, my friend. Be well, and hopefully we'll do one of these again in the near future. If you want to have me on one of your podcasts, I'm open.
Well, of course you're invited.
All right, take care, my friend. Have a good one.
All right, peace out. Stay safe and secure.
You too.